It started on a day that should have been completely ordinary. I was out at the park with a few of my mates. We'd been there for a couple of hours already, playing tennis under the sun. By the time we decided to take a break, we were drenched in sweat. We split up like we always did. A couple of them headed toward the water taps. Someone else went to the bathrooms. The rest sat down on the benches near the fence, trying to catch their breath. I walked over to the tap, drank until my chest stopped burning, then wiped my mouth with the back of my hand. I adjusted my hat and started heading back toward the court. That's when I noticed one of my friends sitting on the ground. It was Vin. At least, I thought it was. He was sitting cross-legged near the baseline. His tennis racket was lying beside him. He wasn't stretching. He wasn't checking his phone. He wasn't looking around. He was just staring straight ahead, completely still. "Hey, Vin," I called out. "You ready to get your ass beat again?" I laughed as I said it. I expected him to say something back. He always did. But he didn't move. As I got closer, something felt wrong. Not all at once, just little things. Things my brain didn't immediately know what to do with. Vin never wore hats. The guy sitting there was wearing one. The same style I was wearing. Then there was his posture. Vin was always fidgeting, tapping his foot, bouncing his knee. This guy wasn't moving at all. I slowed my steps. I remember squinting, trying to make sense of it. I thought maybe the light was messing with my eyes. It was hot out, really hot. Then I noticed the hair. Same length as mine. Same uneven cut at the sides. My stomach dropped, because when the guy finally turned his head just slightly, I realized something that made my legs lock in place. It wasn't Vin. It was me. Same clothes, same build, same stupid hat. A chill ran down my spine so sharp it almost made me gasp. Before I could think, I heard someone shout my name. "Sam!" I flinched and turned around. Vin was jogging toward me from the benches. The rest of our mates were right behind him. "Who are you talking to?" he asked. I didn't answer. I turned back toward the court. The spot where he had been sitting was empty. No hat, no racket, no person. Just cracked concrete. Warm, silent. I stood there for a few seconds, frozen. Then Vin waved a hand in front of my face and laughed. "You good, man? You look like you've seen a ghost." I forced a laugh, blamed the heat. That's what I told him. That's what I told myself. For a while, it worked. Months went by without anything happening. Summer faded into fall. I almost convinced myself it had been nothing. A hallucination. A trick of exhaustion. I stopped thinking about it. Then Easter came around. My parents hosted a small get-together at our place. Nothing fancy, just family, a few neighbors, and a backyard full of kids looking for chocolate eggs. I was helping my little brother dig around near the garden beds when the plastic shovel snapped in half. I wasn't surprised. It was one of those cheap toy ones, the kind that comes with sandcastle buckets. I told him I'd grab a real shovel from the shed. The shed sat at the back of the yard, half hidden behind an old tree. When I opened the door, the smell of damp wood and dust hit me. Inside, the shelves were cluttered. Hammers, rusty wrenches, half-used bags of soil. No shovel. I sighed and turned around, reached for the door. That's when I saw him again, out in the yard, sitting exactly where I had been moments earlier. He was with my brother, digging into the dirt with the broken toy shovel. My heart started pounding. Same clothes, same haircut. And when he leaned forward, I saw it. The small birthmark on the back of his neck. The same one I'd had since birth. I stood there, staring, my mind screaming at me to move. Then something brushed against my arm. I yelped and flung my arm outward. A spider hit the shed floor. When I looked back up, he was gone. My brother was alone, calling my name. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't sleep that night. After that, time kept moving, whether I wanted it to or not. Easter turned into Halloween. Halloween turned into Christmas. Nothing happened. I started to relax again. Until one night, I woke up with a sharp pressure in my bladder. The house was dark, quiet. Everyone else was asleep. I sat on the edge of my bed, hesitating. Something about the hallway felt wrong. I can't explain it. Just a deep, irrational feeling telling me to stay put. But I ignored it. I went to the bathroom, did my business, washed my hands, and headed back toward my room. As I reached the doorway, my eyes adjusted to the darkness. That's when I saw someone in my bed. At first, I was confused. I thought maybe my brother had crawled in. Then I saw the blue plaid pajamas, the ones I was wearing. My breath caught in my throat. There I was, lying in my bed, the covers pulled up to my chest. My hands were shaking as I reached for the light switch. I don't remember flipping it. I just remember the click. The light turned on. The bed was empty. The sheets were exactly how I'd left them. I slept on the couch for the next month. I stopped getting up at night altogether. From that point on, fear became part of my routine. I started dreaming about him, about myself, standing in doorways, sitting in chairs, watching. I'd wake up drenched in sweat, my heart racing. Some days, I couldn't bring myself to leave my room. On the days I did, I felt like I was being watched. If I saw someone with my build from behind, my body would freeze. My friends slowly stopped talking to me. I canceled plans, over and over again. My parents were worried. My grades started dropping. And then, I started seeing him everywhere. In the reflection of my car window, through the glass of my classroom door, at the dinner table, sitting in my chair before I entered the room, in the bathroom mirror, just for a second, behind my shoulder. It happened so often that it stopped shocking me. It just became normal, like he was following a schedule. Today was supposed to be different. I decided to relax, to distract myself. I sat down in the living room and put on a show. Something mindless, something safe. About halfway through the episode, I realized I was thirsty. I paused the TV and went to the kitchen. I poured myself a glass of cola. The ice clinked loudly in the quiet house. As I walked back toward the living room, I slowed down. I peeked around the corner. The room was empty. I let out a breath I didn't realize I'd been holding. I sat down. I took a sip. Cold, sweet. 10 minutes passed. Then I heard footsteps. Slow, careful, coming from the kitchen. At first, I thought it was my brother. Then I remembered. I was home alone. My body went rigid. I didn't turn around. Instead, I looked at the reflection in the dark TV screen. He was standing right behind me. For the first time, he was facing me. I could see his face clearly. He looked terrified. His hand was shaking, holding a glass of cola, identical to mine. It slipped from his fingers, shattered on the floor, ice scattering. My chest tightened as he slowly lifted his head. His expression changed, from fear to confusion, as if I had disappeared. If you have a story you'd like to share, you can find the email in the description. Thanks for listening.